Hey you guys, I'm Tony Covington and I'm here with the lovely Miss Andrea Shaw, three-time Olympian, here on Brains, Beauty, and Bank.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure having you. I'm so happy that you got here safely.
Thank you.
You've been traveling all over.
I have. The life of Miss Olympia is exciting.
How's it been?
It's been busy, but very, very good. Very rewarding.
And Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you. Can you believe it? We're like almost like into spring. Wow.
Where did time
moving.
go?
It's moving. You better get ready. Hold on to your hat.
So we are actually here at the Victory in Posing. Miss Andrea, she did a segment here earlier for the women's bodybuilding category, and she was so gracious to bless us with an amazing interview that I could not wait to get in. I am fangirling right now, and I don't care. So I wanted to deep dive and go ahead and ask Miss Andrea a few questions in regards to her dynasty, her legacy. Where does she see bodybuilding for her and her future, and what other endeavors that she has going on? So we know that you just made three-time Olympian. We already have four. So we speaking into fruition.
We're just, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
So coming off the stage and going into, I guess you could say, postseason, preseason. So how do you gear up for this year's Olympia?
This year's Olympia, I'm going to really go in for kind of like a pre-prep because I have some guest postings coming up. So I planned them around this time specifically with the thought in mind of getting myself ready to go into the prep.
Yeah.
So I have a guest posting in May and then another one in June. And then I officially start prep in June. So getting a jump start on it for me is going to be, I think, really good this year.
So is it easier for, athletes such as yourself to do guest poses because it keeps you, stage ready?
You got it.
Kind of
keeps
all
you
year
dialed
long.
in. And that's the thing with guest posing. You don't need to show up stage ready, but you definitely don't want to show up out of shape. So
a lot of smoke and
and
mirrors.
especially for women, we will carry a little body fat during the improvement season. So that's where some people say, "Whoa, you filled out," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's still technically off season, but you should have enough of a few lines
right
with your physique that could easily be seen to be considered, I think, in good shape for a guest posing."
How does it feel being number one in the world?
Amazing.
I know a cliche, right?
But it's amazing.
It's one of those questions that you gotta ask.
Yeah, because sometimes I still am like, I'm really like Miss Olympia. It's amazing. It's all I thought it would be and even better.
How do you embrace for it?
That's it. That look that you just got, that's what I do. I sit there, I look at the medals, and I'm like, wow.
Wow. This is life. This is happening. Like in this moment.
Like it really happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does it go quick?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I get so excited, but then I try to bask in the moment and I enjoy it. Like, the first week after the win, I'm like, I'm glowing.
I know your DMs be off.
Oh, it takes me 3 days to get through them. It takes me. That's why I tell people, give me time. I need a minute. It's a lot. Between the DMs
emails
and the text messages and the phone calls, and they know I'm coming. It just takes me time. But it's really, it's so rewarding, and it's so it's like the efforts that I put in. It's validating.
Yeah.
And that part is the part that it's like, wow, I'm good at something.
Yeah.
I'm really good at something. Thank God, you know what I mean? Because after I lost my job in 2020, it was just a matter of, okay, I pray that this works because I don't have a job to go back to.
Yeah.
So, with COVID,
it makes you reevaluate all of your goals and what comes first.
Exactly. And with COVID restrictions and rebudgeting, when they couldn't pay me my salary anymore, it just became all right, I've been kind of doing entrepreneurship on the side, so I've always had personal training clients and done like posing seminars and clinics. But now I got to really figure out, how am I going to take that to the next level? Because now, there is no full-time job. There's no salary. So.
Do you mind me asking, what was your full-time job?
Yeah, I was working in rehab. And so there's a big hospital system in Michigan where I'm from. And the hospital is called, it's a rehab hospital. So we had a steady influx of people who were either coming in or being discharged from therapy that we work with. More still lifestyle modification. So we would do basic measurements on them and assessments, blood pressure, waist to hip ratio, endurance tests, and that we would really give them a program to follow so that they could actually adhere to a lifestyle modification of exercise.
Wow.
Yeah. And if they wanted personal training, that was something that we offered them. But we at least gave them the tools to start to take charge of their health,
Wow.
to give them some autonomy, which I think is good because, again, I think when you evaluate people that are getting older and what determines their quality of life is usually money
Yes.
and physical health.
Yes.
So, I mean, when you look at those two things, I mean, that's something
And
that
the resources to get such.
you got it. Because unfortunately, some people who haven't taken the best care of their health may have money, but they can't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's something that that we should have grants to
Right.
help people to do.
And I bet, like, even going back into the bodybuilding world, knowing that you came from that field and you are immersed in it, you have the wherewithal to provide such a service.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Which is what I've been doing. So yeah, I've been really continuing to work with clients. I have some competitors that I take, but not many. I try to really limit the amount of competitors that I take because I'm more of an in-person type of trainer or coach because I just, that's the way I learned. I need to be able to see you and I need to be able to talk to you and kind of evaluate you and how we're doing, how we're moving,
Right.
how we're executing exercises. So it's just my preference. But again, I keep a very limited number of spots open for competitors, but everyone else is lifestyle.
Right.
So I've got clients as young as, 30s, 20s, and as old as 72.
So being Mrs. Olympian, that comes with a lot of strength and courage and adversity. So what would be considered your greatest strength?
I think my greatest strength is that I am a motivator. I'm a motivator, and I have a gift to encourage. So, I mean, whether you look at it as motivation or encouragement, I think they're kind of one and the same. But I have this uncanny ability to be able to encourage people to the point where they will take action.
You have a very magnetic energy about you, a very magnetic aura about you. I ain't gonna lie, she had me crying 5 minutes in the meet her.
I brought the tears.
I ain't like that.
Oh, but I told her she was in a safe space.
But she assured me I was in a safe space. But that also speaks to your energy and how it is received. Which also, I'm sure you also know the bullshit.
Oh, absolutely. You
Because
become very quickly
Yes.
discerning.
Yeah.
And I think working in healthcare actually helped me a lot with that. I mean, when I used to work in the hospital, we'd walk in and we were ready to work with patients for physical therapy, and you have to assess really quickly, where they are, where the family members are, and you need to be able to ask the very direct questions to really get a feel for the room.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that gives you an idea of what direction this therapy session is getting ready to go
Right.
really quick. And again, we don't
Because you have to be considering
you got it.
of
And
their life.
we've only got 30 minutes, so you need to assess really quickly right away. Yeah. So yeah, I think that helped me in what I've already had regarding my faith. I think internally, my faith gives me an uncanny ability to be able to read quickly. But my work experience also helps.
I
with
like that you acknowledge your faith.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I have
a lot
no
of people
choice.
are afraid to speak on it.
They
But
are.
I definitely.
And they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. I'm happy that you mentioned embracing faith because a lot of people don't like to acknowledge it, especially when they know their journey. They had to have faith.
Absolutely.
So I like that you put that on there, put that on record.
I wouldn't be Miss Olympia without it. Truly.
What is your weakness?
I would say my weakness probably used to be. I'm going to say I've corrected that weakness because I found that I do tend to be much more of an open person and a relatable person because that's usually my MO. Like when I meet people, it's like, okay, what is the relatability point? Well, how can I bring out that human quality, right?
Right.
But some people you have to really look a little bit deeper.
Before
And
you
sometimes
open up.
before you open up, because that's turned into a situation of someone I involved some police to
They got toucans.
I had to involve some police because people just So I advertise for gyms that I frequent a lot, and the person
Don't
just
tell me
showed up.
Just rolled up on
Someone
you.
just showed up, and I was like, wow. So I mean, but I didn't cause that, but there was something that, like, okay, maybe there was a point in the meeting where I could have said,
Do you think you're too accessible?
no, definitely not. But I know I have a very good quality of being nice to people. And so since people are drawn to me, I don't know where this, and some people just have imbalances, right? But I don't know what possessed this individual to show up at the gym. Not just one gym, not just two, but three. And it was like, okay, where did you get a signal that was okay?
That's enamored. That is
right.
He's trying to see.
And
what,
that was like,
what's
whoa,
going on.
wait, pause. So yeah, that was a.
I can relate because when I first started my business, unknowingly, when I registered my business, it was registered under my house. And I quickly found out, like, when we sending out orders, like, I have my home address. And I'm like, okay, we need to go back and change that.
Yeah.
And so I definitely agree with that. But
Yeah.
I also realize that I'm a giver, and I do it to a point where it ends up hurting me. I'm a natural giver. I'm a Libra.
Yeah,
I'm a true Libra.
There you go. Giving from the heart. You know what I mean?
I'm just a true.
With no ulterior motive.
No ulterior motive. I don't expect nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a giver.
Yeah.
But it ends up like kind of like.
Yeah.
I'm too willing to give, and I'm too kind of, like you said, like too nice. And he's my bulldog.
There you
like,
go.
Fuck that, Tony.
Yeah,
no. And
see?
I'm like, but they need it. And he's like, no.
Yeah, and you
But
do. You have to have boundaries.
And
this is where in reassessing it, I said to myself, was there maybe just a point where maybe it could have just been more about business versus trying to find human character
traits.
relatability? Yeah,
That's hard.
it can be hard.
Because it also would be the difference between just being too business but not enough personal.
Exactly.
And it also hinders relationship building.
Yeah. But then, you just start to maybe pick up on other clues, right? Or maybe ask different questions to start to glean or retract that information. Or draw it out of someone is what I want to say.
I deal with that now, where I was really, really open in the beginning, and then I started noticing certain things. And I'm like, okay, I gotta not be so nice to this.
Yeah.
Not so openly nice to this person.
Right.
Not really put myself in that person's energy or vicinity.
Exactly.
So, like, just be cautious and like be where I'm supposed to be from a business aspect.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's hard. That's a hard juggle. So speaking of business, you have started a new show, 3 Dynasty.
Yes, it's Triple O Dynasty.
Triple O Dynasty.
Yes.
Let me correct. Triple O Dynasty.
So my co-promoters and I, Sid Gillen and Whitney, out of the Pros Gym. So yes, we decided that, and we're all Olympia champions. So Whitney has been Miss Olympia for fitness in 21, and then Sydney has been Miss Figure Olympia for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So going on 7, because we know she's going to make 7. So
A flex.
absolutely. We know she's going to make 7 without a doubt. But yeah, Whitney Jones, she's had her own show, the Whitney Jones Classic, for quite some time. So she's been very successful with that.
Yeah.
Sydney just had the Peach Classic last year. And there was a huge success for her.
Oh, yeah.
So for us to come together and actually have a Pro-Am show, it's really big news, because now that our divisions are no longer being featured at the Arnold Classic, which is fine. We totally still support Arnold and his team as they move forward with their endeavor, but we saw an opportunity for us to come together and to bring on these 3 divisions that we felt could have a little more stage time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're excited about it. So the Triple O Dynasty will be in April of 2024.
April 2024.
And we will be releasing the details for the exact date and location very soon.
How do you feel having your own show?
Oh, it was something that was on because I'm a big goal setter and planner. It was something that I had set as a goal, but it happened so much faster than I thought it would. It's outstanding.
And
It's
and you're
outstanding.
in great hands at that.
Oh, yeah.
I find it so intriguing when I see women dominating and then they end up getting their shows because I only knew of one, and excuse me if I don't know many others. I only knew of one, Linda Murray.
Yeah.
That was the only show
Yeah.
I knew that was by a female.
Yeah.
So, and I just like, damn, like how do you get in that door?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well,
look
you
at
definitely
you.
put your time in. You put
Yeah.
your time in, and I think that over these last 3 years, really putting myself in a position to just represent the sport truly from the heart.
Yeah.
I think people can tell that it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's changed my life.
You can tell. I mean, look, watching you make your rounds to all these gyms, all these people that admire you, that you encourage, and you touching those people that pay money to come see you. Not to make it about money, but these people travel far to come see their favorite person.
Yeah. A
And
lady
that-
today drove 5 hours.
See?
Oh man, she touched me. It was like she touched my heart.
Yeah.
That
Like,
means
it's-
she
it's
really
really
had.
real.
Yeah, she really had her heart set to come, and I mean, it was. You can't buy that.
No.
You can't buy that. You can't make people care. You can't buy people's ability to care.
No.
And if they really care and they will do something like that, that means that you mean a lot to them.
Yeah.
And that's where when I do make the time to connect with people, when I make those investments, then I know it's worth it.
Yeah.
You just have to kind of still deal with some of the other stuff. But again, nothing that a good boundary,
It
a
doesn't
good firm
trump it.
boundary can't solve.
It doesn't trump it at all.
But it's definitely more good coming out of it than
So-
anything.
Where do you see Triple O going?
I envision, because again, I'm a big visionary. I
Well,
love
hold on.
vision.
Let me ask you first. Let me back up.
Ah.
Why a pro-am?
Well, I think that we need to have women featured professionally and the amateurs. When we looked at the different divisions, and it was like, okay, we have everybody when it comes to the amateurs, and then we're going to highlight these pros, but I also want to make sure that the masters women, because these women are usually your professional women, they've got families, they've got households that they run. Let's give them an avenue.
Yes.
Because these are the women who really have sacrificed. Not to demean anyone else's sacrifice, but I know what it's like to be raised by a single woman, a single parent, and she sacrificed a lot.
Yes.
And that means a lot for me to put these women on a stage where they can be celebrated.
Yes.
And that means a lot to me, because people don't realize moms give up a lot.
Yes.
Sleep, food, comfort, you name it. Moms give up a lot. So for us to be able to do this, especially for the women who have gone through the ranks in the professional league, to me it means a great deal.
Yeah,
And I
that
feel like
is-
some of the masters ladies just kind of got swept off a little
Yes.
bit. And
It's
it shouldn't be that way.
And I don't want to say it like this, but it's kind of like being discarded. And they've paved the way.
And now that the Masters Olympia is back, this is a perfect time.
Yeah.
Timing is everything.
That's beautiful.
Timing is everything.
And you guys are going to get so much love for it, so much
Yeah.
support for it. No,
We're
for
looking
real.
forward to it.
You know how many women just are in the Masters that's ready to get that moment again?
Yeah, and we've got people
relive
coming
it?
from Australia.
Dang.
Australia. Like, the love is real.
That's
The love
crazy.
is real.
Where do you see it in 5 years?
In
Can
5
you think
years,
that far?
absolutely. I love to think that far. I mean, and this is where, sometimes when I get alone and I start to just dream and think and envision things, I would love to see Triple O Dynasty become inclusive of wellness and bikini.
Yeah.
And then I would love to see it to get so big that it has its own expo. And we have chairs. We have dynasty chairs.
I just want a corner booth.
We have dynasty chairs where ladies can come after they get off stage, and they're like the big chairs, with the big back, the velvet, and and they put a crown on them, and they can take pictures with their families, and we make a big deal out of it.
That's gonna be
Big
dope.
deal out of it.
That's gonna be
Oh
dope.
yeah, give them a little scepter. We got royal pictures going.
That's gonna be cute.
Oh yeah.
And get glammed up.
Yeah, and I want the expo to feature all kinds of different women's events,
Yes.
whether it's powerlifting, Zumba. I'd love to see some of the female instructors get down there and really, put together a class. That would be awesome.
To segue into that, as I had mentioned before, my first NPC sponsored show was with Miss Tangela for Sydney's Peach Classic, and I introduced hair care into it. And I figured this is the perfect opportunity because there's the bodybuilding, the supplements, and what to take, what not to take. But are we talking about skincare, hair care? When you get off that stage and your skin is like ain't skinning, and your hair breaking off and not being, you got it braided up or protective wear, things of that nature. I remember her asking me, like, where do you see this? And I'm like, there's a whole genre for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, yeah, you have your headpieces, for a showtime, but when you come out off that stage, how your hair care under there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
And that's huge. I mean, when you look at self-care, right?
Yeah.
And most women's self-esteem is tied to those very things, right?
Yes.
How well they are actually taking care of themselves. Hair, skin, nails, everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah. This is now the business portion of it. How are you going to combat the business portion with 3 partners?
Well, we definitely are going to look at splitting all things 3 ways, right?
Yeah.
We are all equal partners, and that's the way we're going to keep it, because we're in this as 3 people who want to see this dream manifest. So that's been our agreement. We're keeping it that way. I love them, they love me. We just have this vision, and we know that the opportunity to see this vision come to fruition is now. So I mean, again, these are ladies that I trust wholeheartedly. Sid's been my posing coach for the last 3 years, going on 4.
And that's the hardest part about this. You got to trust.
Absolutely. But it's easy when you're amongst friends. And I definitely know that these are my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely know that. And they trust me and I trust them. So I think this partnership is one that works for that reason. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard for friends to do business.
Yeah.
But because we've achieved a certain level of success, right? Independently.
Yeah.
We know that this works. Yeah. This definitely works.
So, you guys would you deem Triple O a small business?
Absolutely.
So, what do you think is being crucial for small businesses these days?
I think for small businesses, there's just a matter of making sure that you seek out every avenue for opportunity, right? Whether it's marketing, whether it's having vendors at the show, having sponsors. Those are the opportunities that we are definitely securing to make sure that the show is a success. And the marketing piece definitely appeals to making sure that we have athletes on that stage.
Yes.
Right? Whether it's marketing ourselves as Olympia champions and or marketing the fact that we are show promoters who want to have top quality athletes at our show. And marketing that experience that we're going to give to our athletes. Because most people will, they'll love the trophy, they'll love the crowns, but it's also about the memory.
Right.
What kind of experience did we create? You give someone a good experience, they're coming back. They're coming back. And that's one thing I mastered in my corporate world, working, was the ability to be able to have retention and to make sure people always came back and they knew that they were going to be well taken care of.
Right.
I have mastered that. I am certain of that.
I'm about to take a master class from Andrea with this marketing, because that's look, I thought I was a master. No.
You're not doing bad though, girl. Not doing bad at all.
Do you feel like coming into business, not so much for 3 people, but just branching out, do you feel like there will ever be a compromise? I'll give you an example. People often ask me, why did I stop competing? Will I go back into competing? And I say no, and that's my compromise, because I've seen my businesses grow. And I've already compromised my family when it came to me competing. So now my compromise is giving up the sport that I love to help others grow. So do you feel like you'll ever reach that point of compromise?
I don't. I feel like there's some things that synergistically come together in such a powerful way that it works. And I think that this is what's happening with us.
Yeah.
I think that we all bring something so unique to the table that there won't be any need to compromise. Everybody has their separate goals, but we also have this common goal.
That's the beauty.
Yeah.
I wish I had that.
Yeah, it's definitely, again, these are things that when they come together like this, it's almost like God just opened the door, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say almost, he did.
He did that.
He opened the door. And this is where, when you see the opportunity and it happens like this, I mean, shows aren't granted this easily. No.
I've never seen one.
And again, to have 3 Olympia champions to come together, this is something that our sport has never seen.
This is a first.
It is. And I think that this is God's way of saying, I'm going to make sure that you're successful in it. Just follow it through.
You was meant to leave that job.
Indeed. I didn't see it back then, but I had a feeling that everything was going to be just fine.
It didn't happen the way you wanted it. But
Right.
God made sure it happened.
Yeah. And I wanted to walk away from it on my own.
Exactly.
But that's
pushed you
okay.
out.
He did.
He said, "Oh, that's what
we
you
don't have
want?
time
No,
for
we
that.
don't got time for that."
You've got some first place medals to go and collect. So, hey, I'm good with it because it always turns out good when God is at the head of it.
What would you tell your 14-year-old, 15, 13-year-old self now?
I would tell her the things that you're afraid to do them. Do them. Trust God and do them because they're going to be much more beneficial
Yeah.
if you do them. Don't let the fear hold you back. And then I would tell her, these friends over here that want to hang out and party, leave them alone. Leave them alone. They're going to be still partying when you get into your college days.
When did you start bodybuilding?
I started bodybuilding when I was 23 going on 24. So I was actually 24, but I started getting the idea and the itch to compete at about 23. The rubber met the road where one of my old trainers said that she didn't think I had the heart to stick with it. So I got pissed off.
Ooh.
And I did it in 1 month. And I came in third, so it worked. I mean, this is where I know I have that in me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you tell me I can't do something.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Don't
worry.
Don't kill me with a good time.
Yeah.
Let me go get it.
Yeah, a very notable coach, I won't say who,
Right.
looked me right in the face and said, "Oh yeah, I think you could win the Miss Olympia in a few years." And I looked at him and I said, "Oh no. You don't understand. You don't understand. Now we're going to win this year." And it's not to be cocky. It's just that when you know,
Don't you hate that?
you know.
Don't you hate when people take your confidence for cocky?
Yeah, you take the time to get to talk to me, you would know I'm not that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not that. But I'm very confident in knowing what God has for me to do.
Do people find you intimidating?
No.
No? I can see them finding you intimidating.
I mean, if I'm just around and then I don't say anything and they just looking at the physical, maybe.
Are people afraid to approach you?
I don't know.
More so of, oh my God, that's Andrea.
Sometimes. But usually when people see that I'm warm and I smile, they know it's okay.
You're approachable.
Yes. Always have been, always will be.
Yeah.
But I will check somebody if they are out of line very quick. Yeah, let's be clear. I will snap back if I need to. But I try not to go there.
We have a bag to protect.
I have it right. And some boundaries to uphold. But again, I mean, it's just a matter of some people don't know where boundaries are and they're used to operating without boundaries.
Exactly.
So you just have to sometimes not so politely let them know.
Do you feel that you've made it?
No. I've not arrived yet. I'm on my way, but I've not arrived yet. I still got a lot more in me before I can say that, I'm satisfied.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm content
I
and happy and grateful, but not satisfied yet.
I like that. And I'm going to end it on that. Andrea, thank you for blessing me with your presence, for blessing this video, for embracing me, and embracing brains, beauty, and bank. I mean, this having you drop gems was an honor for me.
Oh, thank you.
When I found out you was coming, I said it's only right that I asked her and try to make it work for a while.
And the timing was perfect.
Yes.
The timing was perfect.
It's so beautiful meeting you.
See what I mean? These things always align themselves.